Hi, my name is Amethyst Treleaven and this is Psychic Ogham reading 781 for Debbie. Okay, Debbie, you asked me a number of questions, particularly around finances and health, and we're going to see how we come across with that for you. And I'll work through the Ogham reading for you, but we'll start off with this here, which is apple. Now this is a really good Ogham stave to start with. This themes all of your reading, and apple is very much about living life to the full. It's about living life in a way which is appropriate for your soul, for your essence, for your soul's purpose. And for you that's really important. So whilst money is important because it pays the bills and so forth, for you, one of your main themes has always been about living a life that gives you all that it needs to in terms of your emotional health rather than your bank balance. We'll go over here at this point and just have a little bit of a look at the past for you. This is holly or thyme, and this themes your last year or so, and this is very much about obstacles and about difficulties and about, I guess, things that haven't gone the way that you would want them to go. It's about challenges, it's about difficulties. And so for the last year, what we see here is a year, probably, as the Queen once said, annus horribilis. The last year for you has been really difficult, and that's reinforced with these Ogham staves here. This one underneath is blackthorn or strafe, and blackthorn is very much about sadness, it's about loneliness, it's about things completely falling to pieces and your life being absolutely disastrous. And the one that's sitting on top, this one here, is aspen. Now aspen is about fear, it's about worry, it's about concern. So for you, the whole of that last year for you has been one of turmoil, it's been one of real trouble. Not just financially, because you asked me to focus on finances, on health. So not just finances and health, but also there have been a number of other issues that have occurred for you in the last year as well. Health primarily for you has been a big issue in the last year, and we can see that in here. But I want to focus a little bit more over on this side for you. This is the future, and I know that that's really what you wanted to have a look at. Before we get there though, let's just have a look at this one, which is hazel. Or coal, and this sits in the position of right now, what's happening right now in your life. Now hazel is very much about common sense, but more so about wisdom. Now I get the sense for you, I don't want this to come across rudely, so I'm trying to be really careful what I say here. I'm going to say that I don't think that you have a high qualification, a tertiary qualification. For instance, I don't think that you have a master's or a PhD, and I've got a feeling that perhaps you don't even have a bachelor's degree. In other words, you weren't given an awful lot of opportunity when you were younger to excel in terms of education, and that's okay, because this isn't about intelligence, this is about living to your inner wisdom, and these two go very much together. Remember, this is apple or quert, and apple goes very well with hazel. They talk about you trusting your instincts, trusting your inner wisdom. Don't always listen to what other people say. You tend to be swayed a little bit by other people that you consider to be an authority. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your soul. Follow that, because that's where for you the real wisdom lies. Let's have a look over here now at your future. I would like for all of my Ogham readings to be full of fantastic news and good news, but that's not always the case, and life is not always full of good news. So over here is a little bit of a mixed bag. So we'll go through those one at a time. Ash is the tree, the Ogham stave that themes your year ahead. Now, ash is about transformation. It's about change, but it's about personal change. It's not necessarily about people around you changing or circumstances changing. It's about you making changes to the way you live your life, the way you feel about life. It's very much about a change in approach to life. And I'll pick up on that as we go through these staves. Now this one underneath is ivy or gort. Ivy is about tenacity, it's about hanging on, and it's about sheer determination and guts and courage. And sitting over the top of this is oak or dur. Now, these two rarely come together, but when they do, what it tells me is that your year ahead is one of sheer guts and determination that comes from ivy, of course, but it also is filled with hard work. It's filled with caring for other people. Oak is very much about being the father of the forest. It's the nurturer. So what I sense here is that in terms of the family dynamic that you live in, you are the major caregiver. You are the provider of support, of encouragement, of physical care for your children, but not just for your children, but for your broader family as well. You tend to be the matriarch, if you like, of your family. Oak is about being dedicated to those people. It's about your tenacity, and it's about your willingness to give and to give and to give and to give and to give, and you tend to do that. You tend to give of yourself. A lot of that is from a lack of self-confidence. You don't have an awful lot of confidence in your ability to be productive with other people, and so you tend to give an awful lot of yourself, a lot of your heart and a lot of your love. Fantastic, that's absolutely beautiful. But what that means for you in this coming year is that you need to take even greater care of your physical health in this coming year. It will be taxed. Now, I know you mentioned something about some of the physical problems that you have faced recently in terms of your health. And I'm sorry to say that these two suggest that those physical difficulties in terms of your health will continue for the next year. They will change, however, because the operation that you now need to have to remedy some of the the damage that occurred before will happen. But you're going to have some lasting repercussions from that, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say. But for the most part, you try and be very positive, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and you will do exactly that. You will keep going. You will dedicate yourself to a return to health as much as you possibly can. And again, we'll fill in on that in a little bit more. Underneath here we have hawthorn. Now, this is in the position of seeking help for yourself, giving and receiving advice. And hawthorn is all about obstacles, I'm afraid. So you are going to be given a lot of advice from other people, and it's not necessarily always the best advice for you. But Debbie, what I keep being told is that you tend not to be strong-willed. You tend to bow to the needs of others. Not that I wouldn't consider you a doormat necessarily, but you don't always assert your needs, and it's really important in this coming year, particularly with your health, that you do exactly that. Ask questions. You want to know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening, and more importantly, what the alternatives to that could be for you in terms of your health. So let's sum that up just a little bit for you. In terms of the operation that you need to have, that will occur. That's still a few more months down the track, unfortunately, but it will occur. But you will have continuing issues, particularly around kidneys. It's also likely that you're going to be feeling emotionally vulnerable over the next year as well. Not so much the "oh, why me" and "woe is me" kind of thought, but for you, I keep sensing a feeling of loss and a feeling of what do I do now? Where do I go now? Why has this happened to me, that it has left me in such a place that I can't give as much as I want to give to my own future. So be aware that in the coming year you may be feeling a little bit distraught, perhaps a little bit sad and a little bit depressed. So it's really important, particularly with these two here, because even though you might feel that, you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going, you keep giving and you keep giving and you keep giving, that you make sure that you take physical time out for you to have me time. And if that means sitting in a nice warm bath with candles and lovely essential oils, then so be it. For you, I think it probably also means getting outdoors a little bit more. Weather permitting, you need to be feeling the dirt underneath your feet, the sand if you live by the beach, feeling trees, experience nature just a little bit more. I'm also told that you need to watch what you eat, so please be careful of excesses of refined sugar, I'm being told. I'm also told that your tummy tends to be a little bit of a sore spot, a weak spot. I'm being told that it's about your gut, your lower gut. Other food allergies. Some foods tend to upset your tummy, so I'm being told if you can get that investigated, so much the better as well. You also asked me about finances too. For you, finances, what comes through here in these staves here is that finances in the next 12 months are actually going to be a little bit difficult for you. I'm sorry. Finances for you, you're going to need to really keep a tight rein on the budget, particularly around September. You may not be able to achieve everything that you wanted to do in September. I'm being told there's something special that you wanted to do with the kids in September. I'm not sure if that's about you going away or having a holiday or something, but there was something that you wanted to do with the kids in September. That's going to not be as robust and as wonderful as you would hoped, because finances are going to be a little bit tight. So do we have any good news in here at all? Yes, there is. There was a question at some point, I'm told recently, about where you would be living and whether you would have to move house. I'm told that you will be staying put where you are, and that in actual fact this is a really good thing for you. I think you have children as well. Everything is looking pretty much okay for them in terms of their health in the coming year. One of them, it's a little boy, may be having a bit of a problem with bullying at school around October. I encourage you to support him through that, but he should be okay. So in a bit of a nutshell, the year ahead, I'm afraid, in terms of health, is not going to be as a fuller recovery as you would hoped. And whilst that's not the news that you wanted to hear, what that does do is empower you to take even more care with what you eat. Gentle exercise is really important for you in the coming year, and also making sure that you take some really good time for you, some me time. Do lots of reading if you like doing that. Spending time in nature, as we talked about before, and just making sure that you are okay. Please ask for help in this coming year. Instead of being such an independent person as you always try and be, ask for help. People are willing to give you help, but you tend to brush them off. This year, ask for help. I hope that's been beneficial for you, Debbie, and I look forward to having the opportunity to read for you again in the future.